In April this year, Queen Elizabeth II turned 96. She's been on the throne for 70 years, making her the longest reigning British monarch. She's the second longest running monarch in history, with only Louis XIV from France reigning for longer. Louis XIV ruled for 72 years, a record that Queen Elizabeth seems pretty likely to break. However, despite the longevity of her reign, many have questioned the relevancy of the monarch. Some ask why Britain still has a monarch. What purpose does it actually serve? Royalists, of course, argue that the monarchy has never been stronger and is going to continue to thrive. But time will tell. But before we look at why the monarchy still exists, let's just check the facts. Britain was initially part of the Roman Empire until around 410 AD, then began the Anglo-Saxon conquests, followed by the Norman conquest. Some historians are divided over when the British monarchy as we know it started, but it's generally agreed that the first true reign kicked off in 1066. This was the result of the French-Norman conquest of England that saw William the Conqueror become England's first official king in the way that we recognize it. Prior to William the Conqueror, Athelstan was the king of Saxons and ruled over all the English kingdoms. Even though Athelstan's reign from 927 to 939 was technically Britain's first monarchy, William the Conqueror began the chain of continuous monarchs that led right up to Queen Elizabeth II today. While there have been some volatile and controversial periods of rule over this time, the monarchy is held strong. However, more than ever, people are questioning the relevance of the monarch and why Britain still hangs on to it. And still, before we look at why the UK continues to have a monarchy, let's look at why many question its continuation. Firstly, there's the question of rule, or rather, the lack of it. In Britain, the Prime Minister is the official head of the government. All final decision-making comes down to the Prime Minister and the British Parliament, while the Queen is consulted and performs an advisory role. Britain has what is known as a constitutional monarchy. This essentially means that, while the Queen or King is the official head of state, the powers to make and pass legislation ultimately come down to an elected Parliament. It is the lack of any real power that has many questioning the continuation of the British monarchy. Added to that is resentment among many towards the privilege enjoyed by the royal family in general. These perks include being able to use royal jets to travel around the world at the taxpayer's expense. Members of the royal family live in fully staffed mansions with vacation getaway homes scattered around the world. They own luxury yachts, prestige cars, and expensive collections of art. Most of the official royal family annual income comes from something called the Sovereign Grant. The Sovereign Grant is a fund made up of revenues accrued by various royal properties and estates that are scattered across Britain. In 2021, the Sovereign Grant paid to the Queen was around £85 million. Naturally, members of the royal family also have numerous private investments and holdings in a variety of funds across the world. So, the lack of actual political power, coupled with a perceived life of luxurious jet setting, has prompted many Britons and non-Britons to question the reasoning for persisting with the monarchy. However, surveys and research shows that, on a whole, most Britons are still in favor of retaining the British monarchy. In a study done in 2021, actually, 70% of Brits interviewed said that they were in favor of Britain retaining the monarchy. Additionally, almost half of those polled believe Britain would be worse off if the monarchy were abolished. Most Britons are satisfied with the job being done by the Queen and are confident in her heirs to the throne, whether it be Charles or William. It should be noted that Britons over 65 tend to be more supportive of the monarchy than younger generations. However, over the past 5 years, support for the monarchy has grown amongst the under 30s. The big question to be asked then is, why? Why are so many Brits still in favor of the monarchy? Well, there's several reasons. Firstly, the British monarchy is seen by many as the ultimate symbol of Britain. It represents a proud history that included the Industrial Revolution and the British Empire spanning much of the globe. Queen Elizabeth's lengthy reign is particularly important in preserving this pride in the monarchy. Her 70 years on the throne have seen off wars, economic crises, and social unrest. Still, she remains. Elizabeth's unwavering reign is seen by pro-royalists as typifying the type of characteristics that make Britain great, strong under pressure, steel-willed, and always graceful. In this sense, the monarchy stands for Britain's traditional values and its rich history. It brings about national unity. Popularity for the monarchy may have waned during the awkward public divorces of Prince Charles and Prince Andrew. However, in recent years, the spotlight on Prince William and Prince Harry has revitalized interest in the royal family, catapulting them into superstar celebrity status. The massive appeal of the British monarchy as a brand has much to do with its appeal and the sturdy leadership of Queen Elizabeth. When Prince William married Kate Middleton, an estimated $2 billion was generated by tourism centered around the royal wedding. Following up was Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding, which was watched by approximately 3 billion people. With their every move being watched and scrutinized by media from all over the world, the current crop of royals has largely been able to garner public support for their roles within the monarchy. Carrying on from where their mother Diana left off, Prince William and Harry have been praised for their efforts in promoting a wide variety of charities, ranging from climate awareness to funding for war veterans and third world country assistance programs. Then there's the romantic image of a royal family. Kings, queens, princes, and princesses represent the ultimate fairy tales. And whereas people used to live somewhat vicariously through the glamorous lives of the royals, the marriages of Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle have made the impossible seem attainable. Middleton didn't come from an aristocratic background, while Markle is a Canadian divorcee. And while the recent downfall of Prince Andrew has undoubtedly cast a dark shadow over the royal brand, the injection of diversity and youth over the past decade has resulted in continued confidence and support for the monarch. It could also be argued that in times of instability, dependable and reliable leaders are looked to more than ever. For many Britons, Brexit, COVID-19, and war in Ukraine have all contributed to an uneasiness regarding the future. The leadership of Boris Johnson has been questioned, and the debate regarding the separation of the United Kingdom continues. Perhaps because of these factors, it's not so surprising that public support for the British monarchy remains as strong as ever. As Queen Elizabeth heads steadily towards her 100th birthday and the honor of being the world's longest reigning monarch, it's likely that Britain will continue to cheer on the monarchy.